गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्मि गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्तरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकादर आजुहाव पुत्रेदि तन्मयतया तरवोऽपि नेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. In my last upload, I completed till Skanda 2 of Bhagavata Mahapurana. Towards the end of the Skanda 2, the Shaunaka Rishis who were listening to the Bhagavata Purana from the Sutta Pauranika, they requested that they wanted to hear the dialogue or the conversation between Sri Vidura and sage Maitreya. So in this Skanda, Skanda 3, two important conversations are given. That is, one is between Sri Uddhava and Sri Vidura, and the another conversation is between Sri Vidura and sage Maitreya. So these two conversations are coming in this skanda. And the next important point is, through Uddhava, Vidura comes to know of the intention of Bhagavan Krishna that Vidura he should go to sage Maitreya to attain Atma Vidya. And another important topic in this skanda is the Kapilopatesha, the advice given by sage Kapila to his mother Devahuti, and by that she attained her moksha. And the primary creation, Sarga, is also explained in this skanda. And the concept of time is discussed very widely. So these are all some of the highlights of this canto, that is for the skanda 3 of Bhagavata Mahapurana. So let us begin this skanda. Tritiya skandha prathamodhyaya, that is the first chapter in skanda 3. You must remember that this entire Bhagavata Purana is retold by the Sutta Pauranika to the Shaunaka Rishis. And the Sutta Pauranika said what are all Sri Shuka Brahma Rishi said it to Raja Parikshit. Sri Shuka Brahma Rishi said that Vidura at one time he left his house and went for pilgrimage. Vidura's house was such a holy place, a divine place, that once even Bhagavan Krishna, he came as a messenger to the Hastinapura palace. Duryodhana, he invited Bhagavan Krishna, but Bhagavan Krishna, he refused to go to that palace and instead stayed in the palace or in the house of Vidura. It was not such a luxurious place or a great palace. The house of Vidura was not a palace, just a small house. But he stayed, Bhagavan Krishna, he stayed in the place of Vidura because the intention and the mentality of Vidura was so good and Bhagavan Krishna liked that. So such a place was the house of Vidura. And so at one time, Sri Vidura, he left his house and went for a long pilgrimage. Vidura did not leave his house in so many occasions before, because Vidura is an epitome of Dharma. He is a personification of Dharma. In the previous birth, he was the Dharma Raja, Yamadharma Raja. But still, he did not leave his place at many times, like when the house of Lak was burnt by the Kauravas to kill the Pandavas. That time, Vidura did not leave his house. And another time when the Panchali, the Kuladevi of that family, Panchali, she was disrobed. At that time also, Vidura did not leave his house or leave that palace or leave that place, Hastinapura. And another time when Bhagavan Krishna came to this palace as a messenger of the Pandavas, King Dhritarashtra did not listen to him. He did not agree with him. Then also Vidura did not leave the palace. And when in the foul play of dice, when Yudhishthira was cheated and he went into forest, and after that he came back and asked for his ancestral property, he did not leave the house. But now the situation came that he left his house. So what was that situation? One day, King Dhritarashtra, he invited Vidura. And because he is his brother, he invited him and asked him about what are all good and evil. What are all good action and evil action. Sri Vidura advised King Dhritarashtra about the do's and don'ts of that Raja Dharma, and mainly the Dharma of life he advised him. That is very famously known as Vidura Niti. Even now, many people and even some governments, they follow the Vidura Niti. It was such a great advice, just like Bhagavad Gita. So he gave that advice, and in the end, Vidura said, Rajan, so you are pampering the evil in your house, who is in the form of your son, Duryodhana. So if Duryodhana is there in this house, then you will lose your dharma, you will lose your kingdom, you will incur sin. So you will listen to him, so you have to throw him out of this house. This Vidura said, and which was heard by Duryodhana, his friend Karna, Dushasana, and Himama Shakuni. Everyone heard that. Immediately, Duryodhana got very angry and he shouted that, Kayena matro bajuhava jihmam dasyasudam yad balinaiva pushtaha tasmin prativa parakritya aste nirvasyadamashu paranchvasan. This, the son of a slave, who invited him in this assembly? Who invited the slave's son in this assembly? And he is eating our food and helping our enemy. Who asked him to come here? Throw him out of the city. Get everything from him and throw him out of the city. Like this, Duryodhana wrote. Immediately, Sri Vidura, he just walked away from that place without enmity in mind towards anyone. He just took it as the Maya of the Lord, and he thought that this is what Bhagavan willed for me. It will be only for my good. Like that he thought, and he went for a long pilgrimage. He walked length and breadth of Bharata. He visited many places. What are all places are connected with Bhagavan Vishnu. He visited every place, every temple, every tirtha. Visited many hermitage of the sages. And he received advice from many of them, and at last he walked and walked like an Avaduta, and he came to the Prabhasa. There he came to know that the Pandavas have won the war and all the Kauravas were destroyed. Adharma was destroyed. He came to know that, and now King Yudhishthira is ruling Hastinapura. And what happened to all his clansmen? He came to know of it. and he very silently, very calmly walked on the banks of river Saraswati. On the banks of river Saraswati, there were many hermitages, and he visited many sages, and at last he walked and came to the banks of river Yamuna. There he saw a very good friend, relative, minister, and everything of Bhagavan Krishna, Sri Uddhava. Uddhava was such a person that he is so obsessed with Bhagavan Krishna. He was so obsessed with Bhagavan Krishna. Even from a very young age, even when he was nearly 4 or 5 years old, he used to have an idol of Bhagavan Krishna, and he do puja for that idol. He always keep that idol with him. He keep it close to his heart, and he will be always with the thought of Bhagavan Krishna. Even when his mother calls him to have food, he will not come. He will not come without doing puja to that idol Bhagavan Krishna. He always used to speak to that idol as just as speaking to Bhagavan Krishna. He was such a great bhakta of Bhagavan Krishna. And he saw, Vidura saw Uddhava, and Sri Vidura asked so many questions to Uddhava. He asked about how the Vrishnis were doing, how Bhagavan Krishna is doing, his mother Devaki, father Vasudeva, and the Pandavas, how is Yudhishthira ruling the kingdom, how is Devi Rukmini, Satyabhama, Satyaki, and mostly, very importantly, Akrura. Akrura was another great devotee of Bhagavan. He used to roll on the sand of Vrindavana because it had the footprints of Bhagavan. I think even now, the people who visit Vrindavana, they just roll on the sand with their, because Bhagavan Krishna's footprints are there, and the great bhakta of Bhagavan, Akrura, also did the same. So even now they have this practice. So he inquired about all of them, about the Vrishnis, about the Bhojas, about the Andagas. Vidura inquired about all those relatives. And when Uddhava heard the questions of Vidura, he just lost in the thought of Bhagavan Krishna. And Ashru, the tears are running from his eyes. And he just closed the eyes and remembered what all plays he had with Bhagavan Krishna, the dialogues he had with Bhagavan Krishna for one muhurta, that is nearly 45 minutes. He just closed the eyes and lost in the thought of Bhagavan Krishna. And at the end he said, Krishna Dhyumani Nimloche Girneshu Ajagarenaha Kim nanu kushalam bruyam gadashrishu griheshvaham. That sun called Krishna has set. So what to tell about more? To tell about the clan, that is the Kauravas or the Yadus, what more to tell? That sun called Krishna has set. And all the Yadus have been swallowed by the fountain of time. Ajagarena, Kirneshu, they have been swallowed by the time. And it is not only a misfortune for the Yadus, it is also a misfortune for the entire world at large. Durbhago badalokhoyam yadavo nitaramapi Ye samvasanto na vidhu harim meena yivodubam. And when Bhagavan Krishna, when he lived with the Yadus, they did not know the value of Bhagavan Krishna. They just thought that he was a relative or a leader of the Yadus. Only that much they know. Why? What more to say? Even the Pandavas or the Arjuna did not know Bhagavan is the Parabrahma. Only when he showed the Vishwarupa, he came to know that he is divine. So it's all the play of Maya of Bhagavan. So the Yadus did not realize or recognize who Bhagavan Krishna was. Just like when the reflection of the moon falls on the water, the fish there, Meena, the fish there, they think that it is another aquatic creature, that's all. They do not know that it is the glory of the moon, or they do not know that this Chandra Bimba is falling on them. They do not realize it. So just like this, the Yadus, they did not realize that the Para-Brahman is living with them as their relative, as their friend, and everything. They did not realize it. And all the more, the Yadus were not ordinary people. They were Ingidajna Puru Prauda Yeha Ramascha Satvataha Satvadham Rishabham Sarve Bhudava Samamam Sada. Ingidajnaha, they had Ingidajnanam. Ingidajnanam means to understand what is going on in the mind of others and reacting according to it, and reacting accordingly in a positive way. That's what the modern people tell as emotional intelligence. They have that Ingidajnanam, they have that knowledge, emotional intelligence or the spiritual intelligence. And Puru Praudaha, they were very clever and intelligent people. The Yadus were not ordinary people. They were very brave, skilled, intelligent, clever. They were very great people. Even they did not understand who Bhagavan Krishna was. He was staying with the Yadus for such a long time, and they failed to recognize who Bhagavan was, who Krishna was. They thought that he is another one of his relatives, or their head, or the king. And Bhagavan Krishna had many enemies. So they all took him just as their friend or a fellow man, and others considered him as their enemies. And Bhagavan Krishna, he was so generous to reveal his human form to all the people who were not that devotional or who did not have that austerity. If it is Uddhava or Arjuna, they are so obsessed with Bhagavan. But the ordinary people, the people of their clan, the Yadus, they were not so much obsessed with Bhagavan. They just took him as their leader, that's all. But he was so generous to reveal his human form to that people who were not that or have that devotion or austerity. And that Bhagavan who had that form, assumed that form, by his yogic power, he has disappeared now. He has gone from this world. He has merged in the Brahman and he disappeared. He made his form to disappear. This Uddhava said to Vidura. Bhagavan Krishna was that Para-Brahman. He assumed a form using his Maya, and he was born in that prison cell to Devaki and Vasudeva. And as soon as he was born, he was separated from his parents, fearing Kamsa. And Bhagavan acted as if he was in fear of Kamsa. And they separated him and was took to Nandagrama. And Bhagavan Krishna was such a dayalu, he will forgive everyone. And like how he forgave Shishubala, and he forgave everyone. And Uddhava is telling that, I feel somewhat when Bhagavan Krishna, when he came back to Mathura and released his parents from the prison, he just apologized to his parents. He was Para-Brahman and he apologized that it took me so long, I was in fear of Kamsa, so it took me so long to relieve you from this Karagraha, he said. And he was such a great, had such great divine powers, but he acted as if he was in fear of Kamsa. He is the controller of the Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and he is always self-satisfied. He enjoyed his own Atma. He never separated from that feeling. There is no one greater than him or no one equal to him also. So that Brahman, he took a form because Lord Brahma, one day he requested to Sriman Narayana that to relieve this earth of all its burden, that is all its from the Asuras. So hearing it, Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, he decided to take an avatara and he was born in the prison to Sri Devaki and Vasudeva. He incarnated himself in the prison of Kamsa, and as soon as he was born, he was separated from his parents and he was brought up by Yashoda Devi and Nanda Gopa. for almost 11 years. There, in that place, along with the cowhead boys, he played numerous leelas. Fearing Kamsa, he was there with those people, and they took care of Bhagavan very affectionately, and Bhagavan also was with them very affectionately. And even in the very few days of his birth, Kamsa sent an Ashura Putana to kill him, but Bhagavan killed him. So just like that, one after one, each Ashura tried to kill Bhagavan Krishna, but in fact, all the Asuras were killed. Instead, Bhagavan protected himself and the people who lived with him. And he had a very attractive form, very attractive words, attractive actions, and attractive music also. By that, he attracted who all came near him. He always protected the people who are with him, and he drove off the Kaliya and helped the Gobas and protected the Gobas from drinking the poisonous water. So, all these are his childhood leelas. When Indra, God Indra, was so enraged, he showered or he poured rain for many days, and Bhagavan, he lifted the Govardhana Giri, that is the Govardhana mountain, with his little finger and saved all the Gopas. And he played many sports with the Gopikas. So all this had very divine meaning. Maybe we did not understand it in the right sense. And he played a lot of leelas on the banks of river Yamuna. And he had played with the cowhead boys. He played with the cows, and he was playing till the age of 11. He came back to Madura, and he killed Kamsa and liberated his parents from the Karagraha, that is from the prison. And he went, after that, he went to the sage Santipini Rishi's ashrama to learn Vedas and Vedanga. As a Dakshana, he got back the son of Santipini Rishi, who was killed by an Asura Panchajana. And Bhagavan Krishna, he took off Rukmani Devi, who is an embodiment of Mahalakshmi Shri. He took her off and married her according to the Gandharva rites. And he brought the Kalpadaru tree from heaven, confronting with Indradeva, and gave it to his wife Satyabhama. And another main incident in Bhagavan Krishna's life is he killed Narakasura. And when Bhumi Devi requested Bhagavan, he gave the kingdom to his son. And after that, he released many women, Kshatriya women, who were imprisoned by Narakasura in their prison. He released all of them. And all of the women, they requested Bhagavan, or they prayed to Bhagavan, that they cannot live in this society. Being imprisoned in a prison by an Asura, who will accept them? So they need a social status. So Bhagavan Krishna, he made himself into many and married each one of them and gave them a family life. He had many children with those women, and he lived family lives with those women, just for the purpose of giving a social status for that woman. So he married all of them, and he lived a very peaceful family life with them. He installed Yudhishthira as the king of Hastinapura, and he saved the line of Puru, that is the Pandavas, by protecting Parikshit in the womb of Uttara Devi. And he helped Yudhishthira perform many Ashwamedha Yajnas, 3 Ashwamedha Yajnas. He lived in Dwaraka amidst all luxuries and all royalties, but completely detached and always established in the bliss of the Atma. He attracted all by his beautiful form, by his beautiful words, beautiful actions, and by his Venugana. And by this, because he just killed all the Asuras along with their armies, He nearly cleared off all the Asuras during the Mahabharata war itself. So now the earth is free of all the Asuras. But the Yadus, they became very, very powerful. No one could defeat them. So their ahankara naturally went up. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna thought, if the Yadus rule this earth, then another problem will come to the other people. So it is better to destroy all of them, like that Bhagavan Krishna thought. And according to his thought, one day these young men of the Yadukula, they met some sages and they insulted the sages. So the sages became very angry and they pronounced a curse on the Yadus that they all will be destroyed by time. So this is in accordance with the thought of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So after some months, all the Vrishnis, the Bhojas, the Antakas, they went to Prabhasa. They had a dip in there, they had a bath in that Tirtha, and they worshipped the Rishis, the Pitrs, and the Devas, and they gave numerous gifts to the Brahmanas. And they just worshipped everyone. After giving gift to all the Brahmanas, they had a very elaborate meal, very luxurious meal, and they also took intoxicants. So they completely lost their sense. Completely lost their sense. They did not know what they are telling, what they are doing. So after a heavy meal in the afternoon and with the intoxicants, they completely lost the senses and they started to abuse each one. And that verbal abuse ended in a physical assault. They just physically assaulted each one, killed each one, destroyed each one. And thus the Yadukula was completely destroyed. In front of Bhagavan Krishna, it was destroyed. But Bhagavan Krishna did not react in any way because he knew that these Yadus, they will just become another Asuras. They will all turn into great, great Asuras because they were intoxicated by power, by strength, and no knowledge. So he knows what will happen and he kept quiet and they destroyed each other. And seeing all this, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he took a dip in the Saraswati river and he came and sat under the shadow of an Ashwatha tree, stretching his legs. So with this ends chapter 3 of Skanda 3 of Bhagavata Purana. And I have just touched, for the completion of the story, I have just touched chapter 4 also, the initial parts of chapter 4. So I will continue with the rest of the explanation of Bhagavata Purana in my next upload. Om Shri Narayana Kila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.